Let's talk about pull requests and why they are important and what they are in the first place if you have no idea what is it and how to work in a team when you share the code base with other team members. Pretty much just to get it out of the way right away. Pull requests are exactly what they are. You request someone to review your code before you merge it into their main branch or their default branch or any other branch actually that is shared between different teams. And why they are important? Well, it's actually pretty easy. First of all, you let other team members know what is happening and you pretty much announce that you are going to make some changes. Secondly, it will update the code quality overall because it's always better to have two eyes, or rather four eyes looking at the code rather than only two eyes. And that's why the pair programming, for example, is so widely accepted practice and why it is so good. You have someone else looking over your shoulder and checking what you've written and what kind of code is that. And then because someone else will check it, you will take yourself as well, keep yourself as well to a higher standards than usual, hopefully. And yeah, overall, it's a very good practice, and I think all of the teams, especially in the enterprise development, should accept it. And I actually don't know if I remember any companies where I worked where we didn't already have the pull request practice implemented. But it can be even step further, and that was my experience. That not all of the companies had those pull requests implemented as a policy on a repository. But that's a little bit more advanced topic, and I will cover it a little bit later. For now, I just want to show you what is pull request, how to create it in GitHub, uh, just as an example, and what is the usual process that could be expected. In order to make this demonstration, I'm going to use this blue-green pizza selector application. It's my code base for my Udemy course. And what we need to do, as you can see over here in that green README button, it's actually missing the overall README. And we are going to do that right now together. So another thing that I wanted to mention is that I really like this application, Git extensions, and I use it a lot. It's a UI for Windows for Git, and it simplifies a lot of things that you can do. So for me, I have my pizza blue-green code already checked out, and I can fetch to make sure that I am on a main. And this is actually the first thing that you need to do when you create your pull request, and the pull requests are created from separate branches to whatever branch you want to merge into. It's always a great idea to fetch all of the latest and create a new branch on the latest version of it. And we are going to add exactly that. So I'm on a main right now, and it is possible to create a new branch. The second rule of thumb when you work with pull requests is that all of the messaging and all of the language that you use, it needs to be clear, and the goal of it is a communication. So you need to speak with someone who will be reviewing this pull request. So it shouldn't be just blah 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 or something like branch one that you want to push. Instead, it needs to have a descriptive and a nice name. So, for example, I'm going to add a readme. So let's call it a feature. And another usual use case is that you're going to work on a task given to you from somewhere, and those tasks are tracked in something like Jira. So you could add a task number over here. So if your code name for your project is QQQ, then it would be QQQ1, and then have a quick description of what is going to be like QQQ over here, and I'm highlighting it. It's just a reference to the task that you're working on. And for me, it is add readme. So I create a new branch, and this branch at the moment it's only local. So you can see that I have origin On the origin, I have only the main, and origin is my remote repository. Main is my checked out version of the main, and I created a new feature branch over here. They all on the same line. Then what I need to do, I need to have my file. I already added the content that I wanted to add for that project as a README. And what I need to do now, I need to commit that change. So I'm going to add this single file that I have. And once again, the commit message, it needs to be clean for someone else who will be reading the code and reviewing the pull request later on. So usually, once again, it's a good idea to repeat yourself and as a task number over here as a first commit message. And here it can be much cleaner, add readme. And because in my case, that's pretty much it. So I haven't really done many changes. That would be enough. But if you have many commit messages, please don't create them as commit 1, commit 2, VIP, next commit, more changes, and so on. But have some descriptive names. So if you are fixing the unit test, say so that you are fixing the unit test for certain class, or if you are adding some functionality to your application, describe what you are adding and how to get to this. Now, with this change, I can commit my changes and push them to the remote branch, and that's what it is asking me right now. That yes, I want to push and I want to track this branch as well. And with that, the local work is actually done. So I've done my job perfectly fine. And the next thing that I need to do is to actually create this pull request. The way you do it over here, you can go to your branch and create a pull request, because you can see that this is my branch and this branch is ahead of mine by one commit. Or another option is you can go to the pull requests and create a new pull request from here. So let's do that. So I click the button to create a new pull request, and the first thing is that you need to select where do you want to commit those changes and from where. So the target is my main, it is a base, and it is compared to the main as well, but that is not correct. And I want to make my changes from my feature branch. It is checking automatically if there are any uh, merge conflicts, and if it is possible to merge it automatically, yes or no. And then it will also show what is changed. So in my case, it's I added a new file. Then after this, you can create a new pull request, and it will be almost available. So I have one commit, I have one file changed, and it's only me who made those changes. So when you create the pull request or open a new one, you need to add a title, how it will be displayed in a very short view under the pull requests, and also that would be a commit message for the into the main branch in my case. And also you can add a description. This description is a third hint that I can give you, and you need to write a good description for your pull request messages, because it's once again a way to communicate with other team members, and they will appreciate if you describe what you did, why you did, and how you did it, or maybe if there are any issues or tidbits that you want to share in advance. The good thing is that you can also attach files, so those can be images or videos. And if you work on a front-end feature, for example, it's a very good idea to maybe record quickly a video of your feature, how it looks like, and attach it so someone who will do the pull request, they will have a very quick and easy to understand view of this one. But on top of that, of course, uh, memes are important, and they just keep on growing in the community. And if you add some humor into your pull request messages and just in general into your work, everyone will be happy about this. But as I said, first of all, you need to add a message. Uh, so something like that could be a good message, and after you create this pull request, it will be available for anyone to pick and review. So I immediately have this as a description, and the pull request is open. So when someone or the repository owner will go to the pull requests over here, they will see that here is a single pull request that is opened. And when they click on it, they will get to the discussion, and they can see what is changed and what is happening. So right now I have no conflicts, and at the moment I don't have any workflows created automatically triggered for this pull request, and that's probably not a good sign for me. And I need to update my course a little bit in that regard. And in a great scenario, or the correct way of doing things, at least from my personal opinion, is that you need to run all of the unit tests and build pipelines on each of the pull requests and on each of the commits. That would be the ideal, but sometimes the builds can take a long time, or they can not be desired. And for each of the commits into your feature branch, you might skip them because you probably doing the same thing locally and testing your application. But for the pull requests, all of the test needs to be executed and verified, and that needs to be as a gate in order to merge it if it's possible to merge in the first place. So the build should be green, and I haven't checked if the build is actually started. But right now I remembered why that is the case, because all of my pipelines that I have, and that's a quick side step from the main topic, but actually in this case, all of my pipelines, they are looking into their specific folders and not triggering on commits into the root folder of the project. So I hope everything is still fine. But getting back to the business of this video, the review process itself. It is possible to go to the file changed, and verify that everything is good, and if everything is fine. On top of that, it is possible to write the comments, and for example, if here I am very picky, maybe I will say that uh, this project is supposed to be called with a capital P, and you can just add it as a single comment or start a review. So you open a discussion for this one, and it will wait for the author of the pull request to reply to this, and that is a way to speak to someone if you don't have direct access to that person for some reason. But on top of that, in enterprise, it is perfectly acceptable to just make some comments on the pull request initially, and then have a conversation one-on-one in the real life, in the real world, and just agree what to fix or how to fix certain things, and so on. So for this one, I can finish the review and say that everything is good, and the pull request is completed, could be completed, and then whoever is working on this pull request, and it doesn't really need to be the same person who opened it in the first place, they can merge that pull request. But before I do that, I can show you how it will look like from the graph perspective over here, once again in the Git extensions. So here you can see that I have my origin main over here, and my feature branch and the feature branch from the origin, so from the remote, they are on the same level over here. And after that, I can confirm the merge and add the readme. The code will be merged, and everything will become much cleaner now. So we have my readme file that I just added. It is over here. Then still we have two branches over here, and that is not good because those not active anymore branches are actually going to just pile up and up and up, and the good idea is actually to clean them up after you completed the pull request. So if this branch is finished, and it is possible to delete it like that, And after that, there would be just a single main branch again, and the code base will look much cleaner altogether. And we can take a look at Git extension yet again. And when we fetch everything, we will see that I have my main over here, I have my feature branch over here, and actually I should prune it because actually the branch was deleted. And now I have only my feature branch, local feature branch over here still. So the remote repository feature branch was actually deleted. And that's what I wanted to have. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something good about this. And I plan to continue with this series and maybe show you a couple of good ideas how to work on those pull requests and discuss maybe a couple of interesting messages or interesting checks that you can add or do during the pull request review. But for now, that's it. And I wanted to have a quick discussion, open this discussion on what is pull requests and how to use them specifically in GitHub to work on your code base. Thank you for listening yet again, and please like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it, and see you soon.